What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Late Night with Echoes. And on today's episode of I Can't Believe People Voted for This Guy, we got a new update regarding Donald Trump. So there's been some rumblings about different things that Trump and his team want to do as he is now working quickly. And he's working quickly to go ahead and put into place some of the things that he wants to do. But I don't know if you guys saw this. If you watched the Joe Rogan interview with Donald Trump, he said something very interesting that I feel like a lot of people miss. What he basically said was, when he first got elected as president in 2016, he didn't really understand anything about governance or the electoral process or the exact powers he had as president or what he could do. And he just didn't understand it. So he did admit that he easily got, and it's just a fact that Trump got manipulated a little bit and kind of told what to do by some of these people in his cabinet or advisors who had been in there for a long time because they just knew the system better. They just knew what to do. I'm talking about people like Mike Pompeo, John Bolton, people like that. And what happened was, one of the things that Trump said is, when he first got elected, he didn't realize that he had to appoint thousands of people. Like, he didn't realize that he had to hire so many people. And he's like, okay, well, this is not only did it take a very long time for him to do that, but it's virtually impossible for him to figure out who's the right person for this, who's the right person for that, because he's not a guy who has been in politics for a while. He didn't have a political background. He was a celebrity who ended up becoming a president. He had never served in Congress or as a House rep or a Senate. So a lot of this stuff came as a shock to him. Now, what the reason why I believe that this new presidency, this new term, is going to be so much more dangerous is because now Trump has the confidence and the wherewithal and the support, and he kind of knows what he's going to do. And what scares me the most about Trump's presidency is when he gets elected, he is 1,000% going to only appoint loyalists to certain positions. He's not going to make the mistake he did in 2016. If you go back and look at 2016, almost all of his advisors no longer supported him except for like Nikki Haley. That's it. Everybody else was completely against him because, as I've said, I mean, hey, the guy's nuts. I mean, it just is what it is. I'm not a fan, right? So now we have this new update from the New York Times. Telegraph is reporting on it, though. Says right here in the article, Donald Trump prepares to withdraw from the Paris Climate Agreement. And again, he's done this before. It's crazy. We just keep going back and forth every 4 years. He withdrew from the Paris Agreement when he got elected. So just to explain the Paris Agreement real quick, it was started under Obama. Obama started off by joining it in 2015. And basically, it's this accumulation of all these different countries that are saying, we're going to do the best we can to combat climate change because the climate is a very serious thing. And we ain't going to be able to do or argue or talk about any of this stuff if we don't have a dang earth, which is literally where we're moving to. I mean, if you look at the climate right now, I'm over here in Chicago, Illinois. When I was younger, right now in November, it would be freezing. Normally around this time, it is freezing. Today, it's 60 degrees. I looked up the weather for the next few weeks. It's still going to be 50, 60 degrees. God knows if we're even going to get snow. Like, if you think that climate change is a hoax and you don't think that the climate is changing, you don't think that global warming is real, I don't know what to tell you, because it absolutely is, and you can absolutely see it. Like, what's happening in places like Chicago, Illinois, and other places that typically get cold, this is not normal, okay? Let me show you something real quick, too, before we read this article. We'll read this article in a minute, but I want to show this part as well. We're going to zoom in a little bit here. It says right here in the New York Times, researchers have found this year will almost certainly be the hottest year on record, beating the high set in 2023, according to the report. Global warming has hit a threshold, at least temporarily, that countries pledge to avoid in the global agreement. In the Paris Agreement. Then we go to this tweet right here. Says right here, what's at stake? This is something that a reporter wrote 6 days before the election. Obviously, Donald Trump won, but this is what they wrote. They said in his first term, Donald Trump dissolved more than 100 environmental regulations. If elected again, he would kill any federal effort to study and fight climate change, encourage oil and gas companies to drill, baby, drill, and restrict the government agency that protects air and water. For those who don't know what that government agency is, that is the EPA, which they already announced they are going to relocate the EPA. So when stuff starts tweaking, when you start having issues with your water and the earth keep getting warmer and we get to the point of no return, can't blame anybody but yourselves for voting for this dude. That's all I got to say about that. It's crazy. Let's go ahead and read some of the article. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's transition team has prepared executive orders and proclamations on withdrawing from the Paris Agreement and shrinking the size of some national monuments to allow more drilling and mining. New York Times reported on Friday. Trump is also expected to end a pause on permitting new natural gas export terminals and revoke a waiver that allows California and other states to have tighter pollution standards, according to the report. Some people in the transition team are discussing moving the headquarters of the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. This is the agency that basically is a part of, they pretty much govern the air and water out of Washington, the report said, citing people involved in the discussion. So again, I just want to say, I'm not going to feel bad for nobody who suffers if you voted for Trump, because my whole thing is, hey, you getting what you voted for. When you start having problems with your drinking water, start having issues with the quality of air, start having issues with global warming, next thing you know, it's 80 degrees on Christmas Day in New York. I don't want to hear it. This is what y'all voted for. Hey, this is what you voted for, man. But ultimately, I really do think that this is dangerous. This is dangerous. This is scary. It's really unfortunate that we have a president, and quite frankly, we have millions of people in this country who really think that climate change is a hoax when it's literally right in your face that climate change is a real thing, and it's scary and it's a problem. I have been living on this earth for 30 years. I have never seen fall and winter be this warm in Chicago since I was born. Every winter since I was a kid was freezing. Every fall since I was a kid was freezing. It is so warm right now in fall. I can go outside and play basketball if I want to. I could go outside for a walk. It's crazy stuff, man. Anyway, hey, you get what you voted for. These next 4 years are going to be crazy. I'll be reporting on it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.